My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy clean. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
No jokes like that this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on. Hey,
You're
guys, how are you? Welcome to Local Marana Podcast
Stop
this
it.
morning. Feels good to be back in the seat here with El Presidente.
Yeah.
Clint Peak got his coffee there, which is every day is a fresh start. Cheers to anybody else drinking their coffee right now. Let's grab our cups.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Full day today.
Yeah. Yep. It feels good. We're going to have a cool guest later on the second half. The Happy Hive Market is going to join us this morning and talk about an event coming up at the Omni, which will be pretty cool. But before we get into that, we haven't had the opportunity to talk about all the stuff going on
On camera.
On camera, yeah, in the political world.
Yeah.
And it's really refreshing to see some change. I'm going to say, as an independent voter. And it's going to be great to talk about a lot of stuff, what happened. We have a video about some tactics they used that were different from other things. But, let's get into it. How are you feeling about the election and everything that happened?
Can we count in Arizona? I mean, this is becoming
That's a standard here, right?
Yeah, it's becoming a standard.
Is there a correlation with our ranking in education in the United States? I don't know.
I don't know what's causing it, but we got to solve it. Because here's the reality. You know this. I know this. When things take this kind of time, if there is doubt in anyone's mind, this enhances it.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida, bless their heart, they were done in 3 hours.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing down there.
Yeah.
But here we are, actually 7 days plus, and we're still counting.
Yeah.
Pima County is still 10% of the vote, roughly, is still out. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we doing?
It's a good question.
Seriously. This is, if you're an election official, right, and that's your job, this is it. This is your Super Bowl. You don't get to wait, in my opinion, 2 weeks to come up with a solution or come up with the results. It's just it's a bad look. How about that?
It's very bad.
Yeah.
You watching the election and waiting for the results, you just saw Arizona sitting there not done.
Yeah.
And here we are, a week and a day past the election, and the stuff hasn't gotten counted. Yeah. What happens to you as a business owner, Clint,
well, that's
if you don't
kind of what I judge
if you don't get your stuff done?
I don't know if
what
that's
happens?
fair or not, though, David. I don't know if that's fair, but
why is it not fair?
That's the lens that I would look at stuff through.
Yeah.
If anybody else, because it's a business,
right?
Can we agree?
Yeah.
Politics is a business.
Yeah.
If anybody else was doing that anywhere in the world, you were waiting on your delivery of your pizza or your car was being, you would want updates on a regular basis, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I think we've got a lot
this is becoming
comfortable with this.
historically. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is historic now with Arizona as a state.
It's pathetic.
I think
Get it
is.
together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a 35-year-old here in this county and the state. We can't count votes
Yeah.
in time. Here we are sitting and waiting. What happens? What's the standard for my kids?
Yeah.
From this point on.
Yeah.
Y'all need to just fix it.
Let me ask you a
I'm
question.
sorry.
If,
Come on.
If an emergency happens, and this is kind of an emergency,
Yeah.
we're voting. We need to get an outcome. If something happens, let's say on the street,
Right.
what happens? You block it down, you shut it off, and you get it done. In business, certainly small business, I know that for if something happens, you shut it down, you get her done. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. WIT is my operating percent.
Right.
Motto.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. You got to get the job done. Because what happens is, past a day or two, now if there's doubters, and I guarantee you there's doubters across the board, right? I'm talking politically now.
Well, I have friends in different states that are going, what the hell are you guys doing over there?
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, bad enough that we're at the bottom in reading and writing and math. That's bad enough. Now we can't count ballots. Not that should be a judgment point.
It's a call to action. Let's be better. You know what I mean?
Across the board. And this is nonpartisan, by the way.
Right.
Because I guarantee you there's
Both
equal
sides would
amounts
go,
Democrats and Republicans counting right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a partisan issue. This is a policy issue.
Right.
Can we talk about one more thing while we're talking policy?
Let's go.
How many what do they call them? Referendums were on the ballot this
Propositions?
year. Propositions is what I'm looking for.
Enough
were
that we
on there?
needed 2 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot. And there was a lot of folks I talked
think
to.
it was 12 to 13. Is that
Yeah.
right? I think it was.
There was a lot of folks I talked to that kind of just skipped over them because
Yeah.
there was so many.
Hey, I think Chris DeSimone and I talked last week on Working Title Podcast.
Who's Chris?
Christopher
I'm just
DeSimone.
kidding.
Christopher D. The Big Daddy.
The Big Daddy.
The D Train.
The D train. Oh gosh.
3 is enough. I mean, that ought to be, because you know what? You're just wading through the mud at this point. First off, how many people really knew well, we don't even know what the number was. How many people really knew and investigated 12 to 14 propositions? How many
Yeah,
really knew?
I mean, even
because I
if-
had people reaching out to me
Yeah.
about what are you doing with this one, and I'm like, well, hang on, let me double check what I'm doing with this one. What number is that again?
Even if you took time, right? You used your phone or whatever to go
Just
look it
vote
up.
for no for all of them, or
You're
yes for
looking
all
at
of
a
them.
half hour plus or more to just get through like a
And there were-
basic Spark Note version of this.
And there
stuff.
were serious ones in there. There were, there were serious ones in there that people are pretty passionate about. So I'm not saying just ignore them, but
Yeah.
when Chris used the analogy the other day, or said that the Republicans were doing this because they couldn't get anything passed through Congress because it would the House here locally because they would be vetoed by the governor. But to me, that's just lazy politics. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job. You need to figure it out. Don't throw it to the public. If we throw everything to the public, what do I need you for?
That's a good point.
No, I'm serious. If you're going to throw stuff that you can't get through to the public, then I don't need you there.
Yeah.
Let's just put a couple people in charge up there to run the state and sign some checks, and we'll just vote on everything. Every month we'll go to the polls, and because you were elected for that.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is also politics doesn't move that's why it's kind of hard to judge this based on business, because I remember Ed Honey recently was talking to me about a new elected official in the town of Marana. He was talking to Patrick Kavanaugh. He said, hey, look, things work different over here than what you're probably used to. Things that would have taken you a year in the real world might take 5 years over here, if ever. because it's politics. We got to slow walk stuff. We got to look stuff. There's fine. I told him, of course, in our world that Live the Dream Media, something that might take a year to 5 years in the regular world, or 5 years in the political world, would take 5 minutes at Live the Dream, because we're lean. You and I can make a decision.
Let me ask you a question. Are you trying to justify the slow expectation of counting the votes right now?
No, I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying things work different, and we need. If we're not, the point is, I'm actually doing the other.
Okay.
If you can't get the job done, what do we need you for?
Right.
We've got 90 elected officials in Pima County, or in the state of Arizona, 30 senators and 60 representatives. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to work. Figure out ways to make things happen.
Yeah.
Because if you're having to come back to us as the electorate every 2 years and to pass stuff,
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're doing then.
It's very hypocritical, right? So we're under constant regulation. All of us, everybody listening to the show, everybody that's doing something today, some form of regulation or bureaucracy gets in your way.
And a tax
and
is
there's an
being
expectation for you to get the
Exactly.
paperwork done and to take care of the stuff you have to do. You want your business license? You need to have it paid before this date. You want your LLC and incorporation papers done? You got to do it this way.
Well, you want your cable, the lights, the phone. You want them on.
So I'm
You have to
sitting
pay
here.
'em.
I'm sitting here as a citizen in this state, born and raised, going. I live up to. I take care of the expectations I have. I know you do. I know a lot of other people in my life do. And the call to action on
Well, you
the
have
show
to.
today is like, this has to stop. This expectation that we're going to take 2 weeks to count votes, stop it.
Yeah, I agree.
Or go away. Just quit.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm sorry. You guys can write me or whatever you want. I don't care. Come on. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
And I'm not going to shut up about it either, because I know both sides, like you said, are going, what's going on here?
You know what? That's a perfect segue to one of the things you wanted to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
We're not going to shut up about it, because doing the right thing is always the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why legacy media has crapped the bed. This is, again, across the board. Nobody's paying attention.
Define legacy media. Too.
I'm talking the big cats: ABC, NBC, CBS, LA Times, Washington Post, Arizona Daily Star, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I'm talking about. All of them. And the proof is in. We went out to lunch yesterday. Old Pothole hamburgers are awesome.
Yeah.
But look at the numbers. You got a major news organization, CNN, that it's drawn less than 100,000 viewers for some of their shows. 100,000 in a country with 300 million. 100,000 is not even like a real number.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now we would love to have 100,000 viewers here on our podcast. Don't get me wrong, but nationally, you're a national news organization, because that's
Right.
what they are. You're drawing 100,000 for stuff. Some of them were less. I remember reading something the other day. 84,000 people was watching this one show, and I'm like, it's not even a number. Think about it. 3 million would be 1%. 3 million. You're drawing 100,000. Hey, for those of you that know math, that's not cool. That's not good. And people like Chris Wallace, whose dad was a godfather in this industry, one of the founding godfathers of the news cycle as we know it. You know what he's going to do, Chris or David? He's going to leave legacy media when his contract's up. Of course, no one's watching him on CNN. And you know what's he going to do?
His own show.
He's going to do a podcast.
Yeah. Or something.
No, he's going to do a
smaller
podcast.
Company with,
He said he's going to do a podcast.
he's going to do a podcast.
Yeah. And he goes, I know I'm not going to get the numbers that Joe Rogan and those guys are getting, but look at Tucker.
Right.
Tucker's got a bigger.
Well,
I don't watch it, but I know his. I look at his numbers. His numbers are bigger.
Yeah.
As an independent that they were with Fox News, because Fox News is the granddaddy now at this point. Of you know what, but you know what their typical draw is?
What's that?
3 million. Again, out of a country of 3 point.
Right.
Actually, that's a good thing that you're not.
I laugh. I'm sorry. You guys are probably going, oh, you guys are a little company. I laugh because we're pretty new still and we're pretty small, but we cleared about 65,000 viewers last month.
Well, percentage wise, based
Yeah.
on the fact that we're basically a Pima County organization at this point. That's going to change. But if we're drawing 65,000 out of 1 million, the numbers are much higher than somebody drawing 84,000 out of 330 million.
Yeah.
Think about it.
So you're telling me people don't want to watch folks on TV that are in suits and nice clothing that are saying the same thing as 10 other networks? You telling me that?
They lie. They're condescending. I don't watch. You know what? I never watch them except at election time.
It's a circus.
And it is a circus. And I was watching all 3 of the major cable networks. I didn't go to ABC, NBC, CBS on the regular station, but I was Fox, CNN, and MSNBC. It's a joke.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
They're propaganda machines.
Wild stuff.
It's a joke.
You used to, it's funny because I used to look at I used to look at podcasts like Joe Rogan, right, in the early days and stuff like there's still some crazy conversations that happen on there, but I would say that a lot of us would agree now that Joe Rogan has hit this next level where it is an actual way for good information that's very open feeling. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the best interviewers in the world.
Unfiltered. We're not going to edit it. It's just 3 hours of raw conversation rather than chopping stuff up. And
I agree with Steve. I think it's Steve Galloway or whatever. I think that's the video I sent you. That this was the election of the podcast. Yeah. There's often new mediums that are introduced in election cycles and other stuff like that. And I think that this legitimately had
you shared it.
An influence
the numbers
on
were.
It.
Cable was down 22%. Podcasts were up over 30%. And he went back and he talked about FDR with radio.
Right.
And then Nixon, Kennedy in 60 with TV. And then Barack Obama with Google in 08. Then Twitter with Trump in 16. And now podcast in 2024. It's everybody's going there.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool? Right there.
Yeah.
We have built this medium for ourselves.
And the people here.
And but we built it ourselves for us to share information with people in our thank you for correcting me because that didn't come out the way I wanted it to. But for the people in our community to share, come on, open dialogue. We've had a lot of that. We're now at 600 podcasts. There's 700. I don't even know the number.
Right.
And it's been open, it's been raw. There's been some goofy times. There's been serious times.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to call in on this chat, you're welcome to. We have our new call-in line, 520-477-1106. You saw it pop up on the screen right there if you're watching. Feel free to call in and weigh in on how you're feeling about the election here and the counting of the votes, or if you have any other stuff you want to talk about. So going into the back to the podcast stuff, there's one thing too that I want to let people know is we're renting the studio out on the weekends for people to come in here and record or stream and record their own shows or something they want to cover. If they're trying to put something together for a class or whatever, we have like hourly rates that are available
with really talented and skilled engineers to help walk you through the process.
Right.
Shout out to Raul back there wherever he is. There he is.
The idea of independent media it's powerful, and I had posted a video about it the other day. But the key thing about it, is getting the community actually involved. We've always had a community engagement initiative here that we really worked on hard,
especially on the local Marana,
especially local Marana, right? And we did that without any help.
We're still doing it without
from
any help.
The municipality here. I just want to throw that out, but. We did that because we wanted to create not only a platform for us to talk, but a platform for others to talk. Like we have somebody coming on today on the second half that's going to come and talk about an event that's real close here on the Northwest side to our studio.
And part of the reason why no one reached out to offer help, but part of the reason why we're fine without the help is we're not beholden to anyone. We don't have someone an investor or someone that's dictating. That's the problem with legacy media is that somebody's telling them what to say. For example, if anybody's still reading the Arizona Daily Star, that's been published, the 1800s, I think this thing started getting published. It's not even published here. That might be.
It's out of New York, right?
Well, they're publishing it in Phoenix and trucking it down every night. Yeah. If you read it, if you go through there and actually read it, which I've done a couple times, I still know a couple people that get it. There's no real local event. If there is, it's all jaded and slanted. It's an opinion piece, not news.
Right.
I'm old enough. I've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm old enough to remember when the local and national news readers, because that's kind of what they were. They read you the news with no opinion. It was a public service.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was. And people would gather around, watch it. The president would go on and give a speech, and it was the State of the Union. That's back when we had 3 channels, and it was black and white, basically.
Yeah.
But everybody, the family would gather around, and everybody'd watch it. There'd be opinions about it the next day at work or in the public. Then when we went, and I mentioned Mike Wallace and 60 Minutes, and they realized, hey, we can make money at this.
Yeah.
And then everybody started opening their channel. Ted Turner was one of the first with CNN at 24/7. We got to fill up news. Well, now we went from just news to we got a lot of talking. We got 24/7, 365 to fill up. We went to a lot of opinions and no investigative reporting to speak of.
Right.
It just became a propaganda machine for
Right.
whichever party the owners of those companies wanted to push.
Right.
And nobody benefits from that.
No.
Because you know what? If you're living in an echo chamber, that's why I'm proudly an independent myself. Free thinker, independent. I don't need anybody telling me what to think. Just tell me what's going on. Give me the
Right.
facts, and I'll dig in there and start forming an opinion based on what I'm hearing and seeing.
Okay.
And back to this most recent election, I've said it before on a couple of other podcasts. It was a gut feel, and I you know what? You go back and watch some of our tapes. We nailed it, almost down to the number.
Yeah.
Of elected officials, the percentage in the House, the percentage in the Senate. I'm talking about U.S. more than we kind of missed it locally.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We got some info.
We actually we kind of short-sighted that.
We got to get moving on the show. The guest's going to be here soon.
Beautiful.
We're
talking about a lot more fun stuff.
You and I are talking about what we're talking about right now is, especially with the election stuff here in Butte County, is we're not doing it to be angry. We don't dislike anybody. Nobody needs to take this personal, but what we're doing is we're expressing the call to action for more leaders to step up.
Well, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, we need more leaders to step up. And I want to cover something that's happening that we're sponsoring. That's happening in January 23rd of 2025.
Beautiful.
It's a great way to start the new year, right? Everybody's always new year, new me. How about new leaders? Right? Or if you already are a leader, how about learning some new leadership skills? And we're part of something called Live to Lead, Experiential Leadership Summit and Team Coaching Sessions. It's going to be happening at the Oro Valley Church of the Nazarene on January 23rd from 7:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. And
that's on a Thursday, by the way, folks.
Yeah, the Jose, who runs Awakener, is in charge, is putting this whole thing together, and we're helping him get the word out. And I encourage you, if you're a leader or you're considering moving up into leadership, or you just want to learn some new skills and communicate with folks and be around the leaders in the area, this is the event to do it. This is a new event. We're calling it a summit. The reason we're calling it a summit is it's going to continue. We're going to do this every year. We're going to get the best leaders in the room to have conversations and to work on affecting change.
And part of the agenda is in between speakers and presentations.
Yeah.
The table that you're sitting at is going to be encouraged to spend a few minutes between each session.
Yeah.
Of digging in as a group. What you're learning and the feedback you get with each other, which is how you grow.
Right. And this is a John Maxwell event.
Yes.
So you're going to have some cool speakers, John Maxwell, Malcolm Gladwell, and some others, right? So don't miss it. And one of the speakers is a past Olympian, so we don't want to miss that. And also, you're going to have Dr. Dan Streeter, who is the superintendent of the Marana Unified School
Great
District.
guy.
He is going to be one of the in-person keynote speakers. I got to see him do a couple presentations. He's been on the show. Don't be one of those folks that misses out. There is a discounted rate available right now. If you go to the website, look for the event on Facebook, go to the website, get your tickets. It's cheaper now, but once December 31st hits, the prices jump up significantly. So don't do yourself like that, okay?
And when you say December 31st, it sounds a long way off. It's going to go by like that.
It's
Hey,
not.
I want to reiterate something. We are not, I'm speaking for me, but I know I'm speaking for you. Nobody's angry here. We're disappointed.
Right.
It's kind of like parents when things don't work out right for your family.
Yeah.
You're not mad per se. You want to, what can I do to make this better?
Right.
And this takes all of us working as a community to say, hey, this is unacceptable. This behavior is unacceptable. When it comes to schools,
Yep.
this is unacceptable. When it comes to counting votes, this is unacceptable. What can we do to make it better?
Right.
Don't sit on the sideline and go, it's their responsibility to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're so right. Hey, I wish I had more time to talk to you today,
Yeah.
but I think you're going to jump on with Chris
Well,
at
I'm
10,
gonna be
right?
on with Chris, so
I
we'll
might
be
jump
back.
on that show with you guys. I don't know. We'll
Okay.
see. But I
Well,
want to
we
show
need
a
you
video.
there.
I want to show a video here. It's Charlie Kirk. Okay. I don't fully agree with stuff that Charlie Kirk talks about or, everything, but I do applaud him for his immense effort in this election. And we're going to play a short video of him talking about the tactics and stuff they used and how it changed things. They pretty much threw the book out. And both sides can take stuff from this. So people go, oh, he's a heavy conservative, blah, blah. Right. That's fine. But if you listen to what he's telling you, he's giving you insight on how to approach things going forward.
Listen to the words, people.
Yeah. And so put your ideology stuff aside. And I'm just going to say a certain group here locally, the Pima County conservative side, this one's for you. Pay attention.
And Donald Trump's campaign strategy, of which we helped execute on the ground in some of these states, was that, guys, don't spend your time knocking on doors about a suburban soccer mom who's weighing her options. Instead, because that takes 9 contacts to try to get her. 9 points of contact on average. Conversations, discussions, and they could be 30 minutes on it. Instead, turning point, go spend your time in very Republican areas where there are non-registered or what we call disengaged voters. People that like Trump, like his worldview. For example, the bro vote, right? And so this is where we spent our time, and we harvested, not ballot harvested, but we harvested in a very, very powerful way. At Arizona State University, for example, we registered thousands of young men to vote in fraternities. And that was way easier than us going to try to win over swing voters. And we did a little bit of that, but generally the Trump campaign was brilliant because they threw the Republican consultant playbook out. The Republican consultant playbook was spend all your time on the middle, on those like middle 15% swing voters and go all in. Trump campaign said, well, why don't we just make our base bigger? Why don't we just make the people who love us the most? And so what they looked at was demographics. And they realized if we can make the electorate 3% more masculine and by the way, they were so smart to do this.
This is Susie?
This is Susie and James Blair and La Savita. And they were so smart because they said, wait a second, what is more important than race? Whether or not you're a man or a woman actually dictates your political affiliation far more of a correlation than your race. So they de-emphasized racial politics and they emphasized more of a masculine machismo approach. And boy, did it work. And not only did it work, you're running up against a woman, so it's easier to kind of make that argument. And so I don't mean to monopolize the time. But
this is really interesting. Keep going.
And so what the Trump campaign then did, the Republican consultant playbook that Karl Rove basically authored was everything is about high propensity. So there's 2 types of voters, high propensity and low propensity voters. A high propensity voter is typically college educated, lives in the suburbs. You know, they watch Chris, they watch CNN, they have an income over $100,000 a year. They have 2 kids and a picket fence and they go to soccer games and they don't commit crimes. You know, that type of demo, right? High propensity voters is where the Republican Party has always been focused. Okay, but Trump came in and he said, no. We're going to focus on low propensity voters. The welder, the electrician, the carpenter, the police officer, or the person that's just not registered to vote. Where I thought that Donald Trump was going to win, and I wasn't as confident as anybody else, okay, was when I started to see the voter registration surge across the country. In the summer before this last summer, new people that were registering to vote were registering at a clip 3-1 versus Democrat. In Pennsylvania, for the first time ever.
Wow.
In Pennsylvania, for the first time ever.
Okay. Thanks for putting that on, Raul. So a couple key points there was talking about the voters, the non-voters that they essentially went and targeted to register to vote. The full video is available on the Charlie Kirk show. Go and watch it and listen to it if you can. But there's something to learn there, myself included, with our company being involved with doing advertising and stuff for different campaigns and whatnot. It's important for us to see how that approach was taken. You can't lose on information. Educate yourself. We're going to run to a quick break real quick, and then we're going to have the Happy Hive Market jumping on with us so we can talk about a cool event coming up in December. We'll see you soon.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy clean. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for continuing to listen and watch. I see we still have a few viewers actually still on here, which is really, really cool. During the ad sets, I see people pop out and come back, but for the most part, they stay. It's really, really awesome. I'm happy to have you here today because you're the Happy Hive Market.
Yes.
Right? You're behind the whole thing.
Yes.
I was just telling you before the show that I had seen you before at the Button Brew House and some other things. So it's really cool to have you here in studio. You reached out to us on the local Marana platform, and here you are. How hard was that?
It was so simple, you guys. And I was just saying earlier that this is a whole new demographic that I didn't think I like to tap into. Mm-hmm. And so I think sometimes when people think about social media, it's like just Instagram, Facebook. But there is so much more to reaching your demographic and building your business. And I mean, to have support around the Marana community is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I like what you're doing. I see that you're putting together some different markets for vendors and stuff like that. So let's jump into how this started and why.
Yeah, so I actually, we'll take it back a couple years. I flunked out of college, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and my mother-in-law actually gave me the inspiration to just, why don't you pursue business? It seems like that's like the perfect mindset for you. My dad is in business, my mom is in business, and I thought, well, that's absolutely perfect. I love healthcare. So I actually pursued my bachelor's. I graduated my bachelor's in 2022, and I said, why the heck not? Let's get my master's in 2024. So I just graduated with my master's.
Congrats.
And I thought, how do I pay for my master's degree? You know, I want to build the community together. There's not really much happening in Marana. There's always a downtown market, and to be honest, I hate driving. I hate driving the 30-minute drive, finding parking, and then having to drive all the way back.
Right.
I have a son, and so I thought, why don't we just build something here, something that's within our community?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's pretty much where the Happy Hive was born. I had some friends reach out to Button Brew House right here, and it was just, it boomed from there. We got some vendors together. We put on some events. Pretty much monthly we were doing events. And we're kind of creating a stepping stone for these markets in the Marana community. I've also expanded into some downtown places and then also at the 49er Country Club on the east side.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So you have an event coming up on this side of town that
Yes.
you're putting together. So what is that and when?
Yes. So I have partnered with the Omni here on the northwest side in Marana, and we are doing an event that is a holiday brunch market per se. So we're going to have some vendors out there. The Omni is so wonderful, and they are going to be putting out some brunch opportunities. We have adults, we have a pancake bar, we have burritos. We're also going to have a sugar cookie decorating opportunity for the kids. It's going to be so much fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's complimentary. So, like, bring the kids out. That's really where my passion is with Happy Hive. I have a 5-year-old, and it's so hard to go places with kids where you're not wrangling them. And so I was like, how do we create this event that we can let the kids run free on a Saturday, let them run in the grass, play with each other, create an environment where the community comes together, and we're supporting and shopping small.
Right.
We really want to bring together the community. We want to make sure our money is flowing internally to our community and helping the small businesses while we're at it.
Yeah. What fuels you to do this? I mean, because you're putting together a lot of different pieces for people. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into this.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with a lot of. So I put a couple events together, probably not at the scale that you're doing, but you always have so many different variables and personalities and stuff to deal with, right?
Absolutely.
I don't mean to be mean, but there's some prima donnas that come through
Oh,
where
there
it's
are.
like, I got to be at the front. Or
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I mean? So like, knowing all that stuff that goes behind it, I have to ask, what fuels you to do this?
So my mission statement is community over competition. And so the baseline of it all is that we're here to be together rather than competing with one another. Everyone can win. Everyone can be in a place where we're thriving. And I think having clear communication with everybody, I do vendor applications that are open. I, ask all the questions, see what works. And I also curate my markets. I don't want to go to a market where I have 10 jewelry vendors, because then I'm taking away from their opportunity to be a seller. You know what I mean? They won't be able to thrive if there's so many and it's saturated. So I do curate the markets. And I love being the stepping stone of growth. Growth is the best place to be no matter how uncomfortable it is. I love to thrive in that environment. And I think other people should love to sit in that moment of, I'm not there yet, but I'm in that process of being where I want to be. And who knows, 6 months from now, we could go back and think, oh my God, I didn't realize how much growth I actually made.
Yeah.
So I think being that stepping stone for small business vendors, I've had a lot of vendors come up to me, I've never done a market before, what do I do? How do I get ready for this? And so we create a group. Ask questions. Where are you guys buying your lights? Where are you guys buying your tables? Where have you found the best success in this, and that? And I think when we get community vendors to chime in and share the information, nothing is being held or is a secret.
Right. You're in a good spot. This is one of the biggest growing, one of the fastest growing communities in the nation.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunity for you to grow this thing.
Yeah, I think when we think about Marana, Tucson, Oro Valley, we are somewhat divided, I guess you could say, but together, again, we're a community. And when we have other markets, there's, the Dam Market that's happening this weekend, that's happening downtown. The Tanque Verde Market is happening on the 7th. We have, this is Tucson. We have so many different platforms and people that are supporting this type of community that we just need to lean in. And I think we can really thrive and succeed, when we have this. And the community needs it. The community needs a place to, man, it's been a long week. I'm going to have a drink and drink a coffee while the kids play, and it's a meeting place.
Right. Now, plus you come across some cool stuff. I myself have, I always look forward to smaller markets because you come across original products that you can't get anywhere else, especially like food-wise and stuff.
Yes.
So
The food is my favorite.
Food is, you always come across something, whether it's salsa or something like, perfect example, came across like a it's like a, what do you call it? It's like a bean recipe and a beans in a bag kind of thing. And you put it in your crock pot and you just leave it, it cooks, and it makes it it makes like this really cool like bean food thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm obsessed. But I learned about that from a market, right? And now it's something that is always in our house.
Yeah.
And we make several times a month because it's just easy and it smells good. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there are so many, like even just last night, I was scrolling through Instagram and one of the food vendors that I'm friends with, she was like, hey, I have 2 trays of cinnamon rolls, whoever wants them. And I was like, hey, do you have any left? Like, did I miss it? Because it had been a couple hours. She's like, no, I have one more. It's a little late, but you're welcome to come by. I was like, say less. Like, I'm on my way. Like, I'm going to come pick them up. Sourdough cinnamon rolls, perfect.
Yeah.
And you just create relationships with these people. Like, people that you didn't think that you'd meet are people that you're meeting in these markets. I've created so many friendships with people through these markets that are repeat vendors, people that I just can't wait to see and hug when they come to my events. Repeat people that come by and they're like, hey, I'm going to check out your market. You know, I see that you have some new vendors. I'm really excited to come by. Though that's what we're trying to curate here, is an environment where people are coming together and we can be respectful of everyone's craft and everyone's creativity.
Right. What's the frequency of your events? Like, how often are you having them?
Right now, I'd say usually about every month or every other month right now. I have the December market coming up on the 14th. It's from 9 to 12 at the Omni. And then soon, the Happy Hive is turning 2 in January. So I'm going to be opening applications soon for the Happy Hive birthday, and that will be back at Button Brew House.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's
Back
back
to
where
where
it
you
all
started. Yeah, no, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, so we're really excited, and I know that the 49er would love to have another event, so we're looking to see maybe in the spring to come back out there and work with the East Side community. But, I mean, just being able to go back to the roots of where it all started is kind of really exciting.
Right. Have you gotten in touch with Discover Marana or anything like that in regards to your market? Have they put anything in there?
I've been in touch with Discover, but I have been in touch with Amanda Wiggins from the Commerce. Yeah, from the Chamber of Commerce.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she is. She is such a sweet lady.
Yeah, you should reach out to Stephanie over at Discover Marana, because they have a real cool website that they post events and some information for people to go and check out things for certain weekends and events that are going on. So it's another good element to what you're doing and kind of what we're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't know if you had done that yet, so I figured I'd give some insight. It's a good little thing to do.
I love that.
Yeah. Marana's a good place. I like it here. I'm gonna stick around. This is
I love the northwest side of town. You could never pull me anywhere else. Marana is where my heart is. I have everything I need. I've got Costco, Target, Home Depot. My son loves Ace. He loves to go to Ace Hardware. He loves to look at everything in Ace Hardware. So we've got a little bit of everything in Marana, and everything's like 10 to 15 minutes driving distance.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can't beat it.
It's pretty cool. Regarding the event stuff, just from things I've experienced, and we're just gonna have fun talking about this stuff. I'm just gonna ask some off the wall questions.
I'm here for it.
So the first one I want to ask is like, is there a product or category of products that seems to do better than others at markets, or is it just depend on the clientele that comes? Is it vary or is it, is it like food for sure? Or is it like, hats or something, jewelry, something else? What is the category that you're seeing?
Food. Food is obviously always going to be number one. I feel like it's an easy market pull.
Right.
And everyone cooks something so different. So you're always trying new things. You want to try new things. I will say experiences. So when I say that, I mean like the hat bar experience. You're coming and you're building a trucker hat. You're coming and you're getting permanent jewelry to match with your mom. You are coming out to, like, some people will do, like, the trucker hats. We have the jean jacket bar I've seen, permanent jewelry, like, pick your florals. So experiences on where people get to, like, be a part of their purchase is really what thrives. But I know a lot of people have diehard favorites. There are a lot of people out here, like, if you're coming for a specific vendor, you're gunning for their table the second that they're set up. I know my friend Sarah, she does sourdough pastries, and she almost every time gets sold out, or she's almost sold out because her pastries are one of a kind, and everyone's a part of this sourdough kick, which is phenomenal. It's good for your gut health, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, so food, and I feel like experiences. Hats go really well. One of my friends, Brianna, she does Harper and Honey. She's in Marana as well. Her business is veteran and Marana owned. She does trucker hats. She does permanent jewelry. She does the wide brim hats.
Okay.
She actually just did an event downtown when Teddy Swims was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
So building, I mean, like having the opportunities, these businesses get to have like other opportunities outside of, markets, which is really cool. But
Right. Well, my next
Yeah.
question was like, is there some businesses you wanted to shout out? And it looks like you already
I mean, I love everybody. God, it's so hard to just shout out, but like repeat vendors that come by. A friend of mine, the boutique is Coyote Collective Boutique. She is the sweetest gal ever. She's actually moving back to the Midwest to be with her family, and she was at my market. It's one of her last ones, and then she's going to be at the Tanca Verde market. So that's a great business if you're looking for a boutique, if you're looking for, caramel apples, Applicious. There's just so many businesses that offer so many different things. And then you get people who are inspired to start businesses because of other people. So again, my friend Sarah, she inspired her friend Krista to really step outside of her comfort zone and start a business. And now she does Dash of Delicious, and she's her background is being a chef. And so she's curating these spices for people, making Thanksgiving so much easier. I'm like, yes, I want to buy your spices. It's going to make my Thanksgiving so much easier. So yeah, there's just so many businesses that are a part of this community, and I couldn't be more grateful because the Happy Hive wouldn't be able to be anything without the vendors that come and join. And I think that we're doing a really good thing here. I think that
Agreed, yeah.
I think we also, my vision would be to create something that's regular. Right now I'm doing monthly, every other month vendor events, but I'd love to keep something that's like, every first Saturday is the Happy Hive Market. And you can count on it being there and know what's going to happen. So we're getting there. We're learning and growing as we go.
Right. Has there ever been, have you ever banned a vendor? Like 86 to? Or
I've never had to 86 a vendor before. I'm a pretty forgiving person.
I know this is off the wall, but
Very
from
off the wall.
experiences,
It
seen
happens.
some wild stuff.
There's been some wild stuff that happens, I would say, in the market community.
Let me grab my tea real quick.
Yes. And I would say the only thing that I've seen that happens in the market community that actually makes me like disappointed is this cancel culture, blocking culture, where like you have vendors that are similar in a sense and they start blocking people, and I hear about it, or I see it.
What do you mean they block people?
They're blocking people on Instagram because they're like, oh, we don't want them to see how we're doing. And we don't want to, that copycat culture starts to happen. And to me, I'm like, well, we're learning and growing from one another, and kind of like how you had proposed with the Charlie Kirk video that was on. We just need to communicate. If we opened more communication, it would lead to so much more success and so many opportunities, because I think when we jump to conclusion and we take rumor for truth and people assume things, that's where we fall apart and break. And I think when we are having conversations with people, we open up the opportunity to actually speak our minds in a respectful way.
Right.
So I that's the one thing that I think I've seen the most is like people blocking each other on Instagram, which is beyond me. But
that's interesting because imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Exactly.
And I mean, so I won't lie to you. When I was really, really new in business, I saw some stuff getting copied that we were doing, with local Marana and everything. And at first I was kind of like, oh, what are you doing? But then I'm like, wait a second. This is working. So
it's trending. People see it.
If people are copying what you're doing, it's working. It's causing an impact per se. So yeah, I would agree with you on that. That's that's interesting to me because I didn't expect that answer. I expected more of like people getting in arguments or that your table shouldn't be here. just that kind of like those little nitpick things that happen.
Nitpicky things.
But no, that's interesting that's come up. So yeah, guys, if you're listening, just be better. Just talk. And it's okay. Let people see what you're doing. Why would you everybody, it's like again, and I talk to people, so I've had some conversations with some business owners. And I don't want the politics stuff to come into this conversation per se, but like when you start dividing your business by that, everybody on every side buys stuff. So it's like, what?
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone. You know, what I like may not be what someone else is interested in, but you can't seclude or not include a vendor or not include that aspect in your market just because maybe you don't like them. You know, maybe a friend of a friend told you, or, you know, anything like that. We're here to be stepping stones for one another.
Right.
And I think the sooner we collaborate, there's more opportunity for success.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is this your first podcast?
It is my first podcast.
You believe that, Raul? Do you believe that?
No, she's doing great though.
No, he doesn't.
I was so
Hey,
nervous.
just a heads up, if you ever need a security guy, I know one, so I got you if you need
Yeah,
to
he's
market.
a security guy.
I was going to say my husband. So my background, my husband does jujitsu, and I was talking to him and I was like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like, you're always in the limelight doing things. And he's like, you love to talk. You're good at this. Like, don't be worried. You got it.
Yeah, no, this is a great first
I thrive
episode.
here.
If your first show that you've done, good job. I mean,
Trying my best.
yeah. Anything on the chat or anything, my friend Raul, in there? My phone's going off, so I don't know. I can't see anything.
Other than the Rowdy Society saying good morning, neighbors, that's about
Good
it.
morning.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
And
She's
then
awesome.
She is awesome.
8572 someone says viewers matter.
Oh, oh yeah, come on, man. You know. Yeah, that guy's awesome. That guy is active. I have his name. I'm sorry I forgot your name. It's somewhere in my text messages, but
Hey,
yeah.
Dave, just to go on your point, what you guys were talking about, one of the best quotes I ever heard about that was when Michael Jordan was getting into the world of
Show your
politics.
face, man. Tell us and show your face.
Yeah, I didn't want to take it that line. Michael Jordan used to always say he doesn't get into politics or anything like that because Republican and Democrats both buy his products. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, it's funny, like, we all want the same things. Like, if you were to write, like, a list of, like, all right, list the top 10 things that you want.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
guarantee you the first 5 to 8 are going to be very similar. Yeah. It's like, so throw all that stuff aside.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're all here for the same thing.
Yeah, let's
You know,
just have fun.
Exactly. Life is too short. Life is way too short to be thinking about the small things. I feel like in the last 2 years, I don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
It's a waste of my time. I'm like, life is way too short. Like, brush it right off. Let's just keep going. Like,
Yeah. Role model
how
alert.
can we move forward? You know, how can we make it better? Like how you guys were talking earlier. You know, we're here to make an impact. How can we be better? How can we move forward? What is it that we need to do to make change?
We've got to lead.
Yeah. And like you guys were saying, we need to create leaders.
Right.
Leaders need to be here because if we have too many followers, there's not going to be enough people to lead.
Right. Shameless plug. Live to Lead Leadership Summit that's coming up in January.
Yes.
Okay, next year. Be there. If you own business, if you're in, moving up in the chain of command, all that stuff, work public safety, you should be there.
Yeah.
What is that noise? Do you hear that, Raul?
the beeping noise, you're like.
Anyways,
Yeah.
what is like a good venue for you? Like what is the Happy Hive Market like as far as setup? Are you looking to be connected to restaurants or to a alcohol beverage place? Are you looking for, or is it kind of just wherever you see it might fit?
I feel like ideally I love to create an experience, right? When you're coming,
Right.
you're not just coming, you're going to shop and then you're going to go home. We want you to stay. We want you to hang out for a couple hours. So what I love about Button Brew is that you come in, you can grab a beer on tap and small business. Then you can come sit in their beer garden, listen to some live music, walk around the beer garden and shop. You
Right.
can look around, grab a couple snacks, grab something to take home. Oh, hey, I found a new hat, a new pair of earrings. Oh, this is a good gift for my mother-in-law, for my mom, for my friend, for my dad. And it creates this experience. So I love Button Brew. I love their layout. I love their beer garden. Their layout is beautiful. I feel like a brewery is always really great. Coffee, you can't go wrong with coffee.
I love coffee.
I used to not ever drink coffee in the morning until I had my son. And
What's the best local plug for coffee? I heard you say you used to not drink coffee until you had your son.
Yes. I used to not be a morning coffee drinker. I have enough energy to get up and get going.
Yeah. Kids, no.
And then I had my son and I realized that's impossible. I have to have coffee in the morning. It's not possible to continue. Oh God.
It's part of my DNA now.
Oh,
I've
absolutely.
drank so much of it.
Morning, and then you have an afternoon
Yes.
cafecito, and then you get to like 4, and you're like, is it too late for a cup of coffee? I think it's too late.
You know what got me onto the afternoon one was I was in Miami and I had visited a Cuban restaurant and I ate some delicious food. I had never had like actual Cuban food until then. And they brought a coffee or an espresso right after. Like I wasn't, they just do it. And I'm like, felt guilty, you know, because one cup to me at that time, that was enough. Wow. That was a game changer for me after that.
Oh, after?
So they're the ones that technically got me hooked on the afternoon coffee. So Miami, thanks a lot for that. But yeah, no, that midday perk.
It's perfect. It's perfect. About 3 o'clock. Sometimes 2:30, but 3 o'clock is like the perfect time for an afternoon coffee. My husband's grandmother, she has a thermos and she keeps her coffee. If she doesn't have her afternoon coffee, we're like, we got to get on her coffee because we are a family of coffee drinkers.
Let me ask you a serious question about this 3 p.m. thing, okay?
Yes.
You drink coffee past 4 o'clock and can go to sleep, huh?
I can.
You can't? I can't. 3 o'clock's my cutoff.
I can.
4 o'clock, I can't.
Yeah, no, I can. I think the latest I could drink a cup of coffee and still be able to sleep at night is, I think 4:30 is like the pushing it if I like really wanted coffee. But I don't stay up that late really either. I think 9 o'clock, 9:30 is really already my bedtime. I get up early. We have a 5-year-old, so he's up at 5:30 already yelling and screaming about something. So
yeah. Oh yeah. So Veronica Soto is one of our podcasters here. She has the Oversharing podcast. If you haven't seen it yet, you should.
I actually just saw it on Instagram.
Okay, check it out and try to get on her show with her.
I'd love to.
It's awesome. She's got a great demographic and bunch of viewers. She's talking about they're wanting to have kids and all this stuff. And Veronica, if you're watching, you hear this conversation right here. 5:30. That's
you gotta
all
get
the time.
Used to it.
That's get used to because she'll ask like, "Hi," I'm like, "I'm tired." I'm like, I lived a whole life before I even got in here today.
That is so accurate. My husband and I joke about that. You know, I think he showed me a meme or something. It was like, I had a whole life before this and it's 9 a.m. We're like, yeah, we've been up for a while.
Yeah, I've got a 3-year-old and a 17-month-old.
Oh, bless your soul.
Oh, yeah. It's a track meet. Like, you're just trying to keep them from just...
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 17 months. I mean, I will say I miss the baby phase and we contemplate having another. But God, life is really good with a 5-year-old. You know, I don't have to carry a backpack. I don't have to carry extra everything. Like I can be pretty hands-free with a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
He knows how to use the bathroom. You know, I don't have to do those little things anymore.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, we were kind of crazy because there was one point where both of our children were in diapers.
Ooh.
So you change one, and then you're going and changing this one, and then you're gonna go back to like it's
Tag
just like
team.
a continuous thing.
Yeah, tag teaming. Seriously, I mean,
I love them though.
At least you're not outnumbered. You only have 2. I have a friend of mine. I love her to death. I actually met her through social media. It's crazy that social media brings people together. But a friend of mine, she has a set of twins. And then she had a baby boy in between. And then she has another set of twins. 2 sets of twins. She's 5.
Oh,
and
man.
she's outnumbered. And I am like, bless your soul. She goes, you know what? It was just meant to be. And I was like, I love that for you, but I have 1 and that's enough.
Yeah. Hey, we went off track and it's my
Yes.
fault.
No,
'Cause I
that's
was
okay.
asking, I was trying to
okay.
like, what's the local coffee plug? What's the bag you're buying? If you're on a spot, where's it from?
Oh, gosh.
And then we got to go, unfortunately.
I can't even remember their Instagram, but they've been to a lot of my markets, and now recently they haven't. Now I'm blanking on their name.
The reason I ask is I know once I get one from you, my wife's going to be like, go get a bag. Or we're going to go get a bag.
Harley's Coffee Co.
Harley's Coffee Co.
Yes. They do pop-ups, and God, it's so good. And they're really great. Yeah, their Instagram is Harley's, HARLEYS, coffee, and then .co.
Okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
they're great. They've got merch. They're great.
Okay.
I love them.
All right. I'm going to go get a bag.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect holiday gift. It's the holiday
Yes.
season. Go get it.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
thank you for
joining
having
today.
me.
It was awesome. We'll have you again. You're great at talking.
Sounds
Jump on
good.
some other shows here.
I will. I'd
Yeah,
love
it's
to.
really good. And everybody listening on the app today, thank you so much. We appreciate you. You're awesome. Everybody watching on our social platforms, we also appreciate you and love your support. Please help us continue to grow this and share. And if you're looking to advertise or sponsor a show, just let us know and we'll make it happen. Prices are reasonable and easy. Happy holidays. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.